Hey, hi, and hello, everybody. Mr. Price here again, trying to walk you through the 12 Bar Blues project. This project is just really all about getting to finally perform our own harmony and our own melody inside our DAW here. Up till now, we've mostly been using loops. And loops are great for when you need a quick bit of harmony or a quick bit of melody, but I'm going to show you how to do your own in case you ever want to be a little more creative with it, or you just can't find the right loop for the sound you're looking for. You can make your own. So that's the kind of goal of the project. There's also a focus on real-time entry, which is when we press the record button and play something on either a MIDI keyboard or on our musical typing or anything like that within Logic we're using. So these are the deliverables we need. As usual, a project file and a bounce. So get right into it. I'll try to keep this as concise as possible. So the whole point of this project is we're going to create a song that uses the 12-bar blues, which is a chord progression that is used a lot in American blues, obviously, music. It's used a lot even nowadays, so you might even hear it on some popular songs every once in a while, especially if it's a guitar-oriented artist. So here are the requirements. Remember, these are the important thing. They're what you're being graded on. Make sure you do the requirements. If you don't do anything else, do the requirements. The song's got to be 48 bars long. You're going to hit the length easy because we're going to set this up to be exactly 48 bars long. You can make it longer, and honestly, you probably should, and you probably will, but 48 you're going to hit easy. Need at least 4 separate tracks. You're also going to hit that pretty easy because we are going to have at least 4 different instruments already just based on what we're going to do with the project. The song needs to be 4 repetitions of the 12-bar blues. If you have not read about the 12-bar blues here in chapter 5 of the Music Tech Made Simple book, you can scroll all the way down here. This is a completed chart of the 12-bar blues. Got all these Roman numerals. If you don't quite understand those, read the chapter. Make sure you take the quiz. Make sure you ask your teacher what that all means if you're still having some confusion about it. I'm going to kind of gloss over it here in the video because we're really focused on the project. But we're going to repeat this pattern of chords 4 times. So there's 12 bars, 4 times, total of 48 bars, right? So that's why we're going to hit that easy. Each of those repetitions is going to have a melody that you play. So you're going to play a different melody for each of the 4 bars. 4 repetitions. And so there will be 4 different instruments, 4 different melodies. And within those 4 different melodies, each one's going to have a different contour. That's the shape of the melody. Does it go up and then down? Does it go down and then up? Does it stay mostly flat? Those are the contours you can use. So you're going to do one of each of those, and then you're going to do a 4th one. That can be your choice. The 4th one's just a free-for-all. Make whatever melody you want. No restrictions. And then, of course, the last requirement is you need a unique name. So I'm going to get started. I have a MIDI keyboard sitting in front of me. If you don't have that, I will really quickly show you how to get your software instrument to be played with musical typing in Logic. So I'm going to open Logic. I'm going to make a new project here and make sure I have software instrument selected because that's what we need. And easy enough, as soon as I select software instrument, I should be able to hit some keys on my MIDI keyboard in front of me. And it'll play notes, right? If you don't have a MIDI keyboard, real quick, you can come up to Window and hit Show Musical Typing or hit Command K on your keyboard. That's how I usually do it. And it'll bring up this little musical keyboard that you can play with your actual computer keyboard, right? You can adjust the octave here with Z and X. So you can do really whatever you want there. Put that down to the 1st octave, maybe the 2nd. Yeah, that's where I want it. The first thing you're going to do is choose an instrument you like. I don't really like this electric piano that comes with it. Remember, we're looking for an instrument that can play like a chord sound, obviously, like a harmony sound. So I'm going to just look through here. If you have a MIDI keyboard, you can just hit the notes and then kind of click on different software instruments to find the ones you like. What do I want to go for? I'm going to go into the synthesizer section. Maybe I will grab one of these weird classic synths. Maybe I'll I'll go with that one. That one's pretty chill. Maybe I'll do a little chilled out 12 bar blues. On that note, I'm even going to crank my tempo down a little bit just for fun. Maybe go about 95. Make it a little easier to put the notes in there too, and I can always change it later. So might be a good idea for you to crank your tempo down as well from 120. Okay, so let's refer back to the text here, and we're going to input the 12 bar blues into our DAW here. I'm just going to full screen. So in the text, you can see there's these 3 different chords. We call them the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. They're all built on the same shape where you play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note. It's called a triad. You can see this first one is C, E, and G, these 3 keys right here. The 4th chord, or the 4 chord, I'm sorry, is the same pattern, but you move it up to an F being your bottom note, so F, A, and C. And then the 5 chord, just move that up one more time to G, B, and D. So over here in the musical typing, if you want to see that, that's what your 1 chord should sound like. There's your 4 chord and your 5 chord. So those are the 3 chords we're going to do. Now, we're going to come down here to the pattern, and this is our 12 bar blues, and we're just going to type this out using our musical keyboard into, or play it into our DAW. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just hit the record button up here, the big red record button, and then for 4 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 bars, I'm going to play a 1 chord, so C, E, and G. Right there. So I'm just going to press record and then play for 4 bars. That's until it gets to right here. Make sure before you do anything that you click this metronome button to be on. That's going to make a click. Really loud click. It's going to make a click so that you can keep yourself in time. Okay, so I'll click that and click record and go ahead and record in the first 4 bars of my 12 bar blues. And that's it. And you see Logic automatically kind of cut that off there. Now, what I just did was I played this chord 4 times, but as you can see, if I zoom in really far on this, I just double clicked on the region there to bring up this, we call the piano roll here. You'll see that these notes don't always start at the exact right space. Look at the first one, in fact. This green line is where the song starts. All 3 of these notes got played before the song even started, so they won't even sound when I press play. Can't even hear them, right? To fix that, we do this thing called time quantizing, where we are going to use the computer to snap these notes to the exact right beats. So if I select all of these notes, or an even better way to do that, keyboard shortcut, hit Command, hold that down, and press A. It'll select everything that's currently in view, so it selected all the notes. I'm going to change the quantize, which is which note that they snap to. The lower this value is, the less or the more it will snap. So if I changed it down to the half note, it would snap all the way to a half note. If I changed it to the 64th note, it'll just snap a little tiny bit. I'm going to just set that at an 8th note because that's pretty standard for most of the stuff I do. You might need to experiment with which one sounds the best, but for now, 8th note should be fine. And now if you look at these notes, you'll see they're not all exactly the same length, but they do all start at exactly the same place. See, they're all in the exact same place. So now, if I play that back, it sounds perfect. So let's go ahead and put some more in. We've got the first 4 bars. Let's do the next 2. They're both a 4 chord. I'll make sure I remember how to play a 4 chord, F, A, and C. And I'm going to play that for 2 bars. Set my playhead to the end, press record, and I'm going to play the 4 chord, F major chord for 2 bars. Here I go. And now those are in there. I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to quantize those notes. I just got to highlight them and press the Q. To the next ones, we go back to the 1 chord for 2 bars. So I could copy and paste this over and shrink it and do a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to re-record it because it'll just take a couple seconds. 2 bars of the 1 chord. Now, just to show you that you can do bigger sections, bigger chunks all at once if you want, I'm going to play these last four bars all at once. So I'm going to play 1 bar of the 5 chord, move down 1 bar of the 4 chord, and then end on the 1 chord, that we started on. Yeah, I sang the wrong note there. End on the 1 chord that we started on. Okay, so I'll play all 4 of those, 5, 4, 1, 1, all together, all at once right now. Sounds like this. And then, after quickly quantizing those 4 bars, I have finished. That's my 12-bar blues. I'm going to speed this up for a second so we can listen back to it, and just it's a little faster. You'll hear 4 bars of 1, 2 bars of 4, back to 2 bars of 1, and then it goes 5, 4, 1. You'll notice it is exactly 12 bars long. This is a 12-bar blues pattern. 1, 1, 1, going up to 4, 4 again, and back to 1, 1, 1. Now 5, 4, 1, 5, 4, 1. That's the end. Now, really cool thing about using a software instrument is, say I've decided, and I really have decided, I don't like this instrument. It doesn't sound good. I can go in here and just pick a new one, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick a whole new instrument. Maybe I will go away from synthesizers and go more towards mallets. Maybe I'll see what a vibraphone sounds like. That's okay. Get some electric guitar in there. So there's many different things you can pick from. Yeah, I like this Azure Crystal Synth Bells. I'm going to stick with that. This is my 12-bar blues, okay? So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to color these the same color. We'll leave them green, actually, for now. And I'm going to just select all of these, and we're going to copy them. So I can come up here to edit and hit copy. You can also just hit Command C on your keyboard. And then I'm going to paste them again, just exactly what I did. I made sure it sounded right. I listened to it, and then I copy paste it. I'm going to take those regions I just pasted, and we're going to color them a whole different color just to show that that's a different repetition. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to paste them again and color that one a whole different color. I'll make this one like a nice bright blue. And then I will actually once again paste and color that one a whole nother color. This one can be purple. And so now we see I am at exactly 48 bars, starting bar 49. And I have 4 repetitions of the 12-bar blues in my DAW. So now the point of the project becomes, and I've lost the project. Let me find it. Here it is. Oh yeah, this is what we were doing. Let's go back to that view. I think that'll be pretty easy now. Now the point of the project is going to become each of these repetitions I want to build a melody on top of. And I'm going to do that by just creating a new software instrument track and finding an instrument that I think would be good for melody. So maybe the first one I will go and find that electric guitar. Right? And here is where this is going to get really cool, because you're just going to record in a melody, okay? Remember that the melodies each have to have their own contour. So one should have up, down, one should have down, up, one should be flat, and one can be anything you choose. But what's really cool about the 12-bar blues in C major is that if I was to play, I will open up musical typing again, just the white keys. And if I start and end on the note C, the note that the key is named after, it'll sound more or less pretty good. I can really do anything. So when you play your down or your up-down contour, all you're going to do is start at the bottom, which is C on the left. You're going to play whatever you want and slowly build your way up to the top, onto the right, and then slowly build your way back down. So by about halfway through your repetition, bar 6 or so, that's about halfway through, you're going to start working your way back down, right? That's kind of the whole point of the contour. So real quick, I'm going to record a melody that's an up-down contour. I'm just going to make it up. I'm going to play it on this guitar patch, and I'm going to play it on my MIDI keyboard. I'm going to start low, get high, and go back down to low. And actually, before I do that real quick, I want some drums in this. So I'm just going to drag a drum loop into this. And in fact, I'm going to do something a little different just to reward anyone who actually is watching this. By adding a drummer track. We haven't messed with this yet, but there's this track type in Logic called a drummer. I'm going to make it a rock drummer and hit create. And what this is it'll give you a guy. This is Kyle. I don't know why they give them names, but I can drag Kyle out, and Kyle will now play the drums throughout the entire song. One thing I do want to do, just because this is supposed to be a little bluesy, because we're in a 12-bar blues, I'm going to turn up the swing on my drummer, and that will give him a little bit of a lilt, a little bit of a shuffle. Jut, 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 jut. You'll hear that now when I play it back again. I'm going to stick him at the top just because I like the drums to be at the top. Okay, so I got Kyle in there. I've got my guitar ready to go, and I'm going to record. I'm just going to press record and do it all in one take. And you can do as many takes as you like. I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to press record, and I'm just going to do a up and then down melody. Right. And that was an interesting thing I did. I don't even know. I just kind of made that up again. But as you can see, if I was to shrink this, it's got some ups and downs, peaks and valleys, like a roller coaster here. But in general, it starts at the bottom. It goes all the way up, and it comes back down to the bottom. And what's cool is that I can now go back and listen to that. And once again, if I don't like that sound, I can come in here and change it to maybe a more distorted guitar sound. So that's my down up melody, right? And I've done that right there. And now all you are going to do, and I'm not going to walk you through each of these steps because this video will get very long, is you're going to do that same thing 4 times, each with that different repetition that we colored differently, and each with a different contour. So that was my up down, and then you'll do one that's down up, and then you'll do one that's kind of more flat. The flat one doesn't mean just play the same note. It means kind of play a note like you're not going very far away from the note you start on, and if you were to play that, it would look like a fairly flat line. So that would be your flat contour. When you're done doing all of those, and also each of those should be with a different instrument. So I could come in here and make a whole nother instrument for each of those things. Okay. Every single one of them will be different. Maybe this one is going to be a little trumpety sound. It's not a very good trumpety sound, but I didn't try very hard to find one. I just kind of picked the first one. And all I'm doing, it might sound like I'm doing all this fancy musical stuff, but all I'm doing is playing white keys. I'm starting on a C and I'm playing white keys. That's all you have to do because we're in this C major 12-bar area, right? You don't really have to do anything other than play white keys. So do take your time with this, though. I made that sound pretty good because I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing in terms of improvisation, but you might not. It's going to take you a couple times. And so if you wanted to try it again, all you would really have to do is make a new instrument with the same patch. You could even hit duplicate settings, mute the one you just did, and try again until you find one you like. Or you can just kind of delete it and start over. But if you've liked one, but you want to give it another shot, but you want to keep that one, don't delete it. Okay. So you're just going to keep doing that with each of those things. When you finally got all of that, I want you to arrange it into an actual song. Maybe give it an intro. I can drag all of these over and have a few bars of intro here at the beginning, and then maybe an outro. Put in sound effects, put in loops, turn it into an actual song. I'll give you the spiel every time, which is that you need to actually spend your time creating the best music you can create. Like we've talked about this, because this is all going to go somewhere eventually. We're going to put this on a little class record at the end, maybe, or you're at least going to have a personal copy of all your music, and it's going to be just kind of a waste if you look back on this song and be like, oh, remember when I wasted all that time making that bad thing that I could have spent a little bit more time on and made it cool? So make the coolest music you can. Just like all the other projects, when you are finished with this one, it just needs a save and a bounce. So I'll go over that extremely quickly here. You save your project. Oh, sorry, I was in preview when I hit save. You save your project. I'm going to hit save as. You're going to call this your name. You're going to give it a song name. This one's going to be called Bluey. And you're going to call it 12 bar blues project. You're going to make sure that saves project files in your desktop project files. That's where you save it as a package there. Then you're going to bounce. We'll just do an MP3 bounce for now because it's the easiest. 320s. Make sure it starts at 1. It ends where your song ends. This one looks like it ends around 58. I'm going to hit OK, and then it is going to bounce that to my final bounces folder, a bounce. And once it's done that, it will be an MP3 file. And the only last step when you're done with all of that is you need to open up your project's files, and you need to make sure that you compress that so that it can be uploaded with no issues, because remember, sometimes it doesn't like when you upload Logic X files, so you have to compress them. So that is the project. Make sure, as usual, you turn in 2 files, the project and the bounce, and that you meet all of those requirements. Awesome. 12 bar blues can be really fun, good chance to start improv, and yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and have fun making great music.